Welcome to this business simulation. This is platinum level, and the game at this level is slightly hard because you have to proactively reach out to businesses or get businesses on calls and have very effective discussions with the civilian industry companies. So let's quickly jump into the game rules, and we have talked about this game rules. So just look at the slide so we can quickly go to the objective, which is what are you going to be experiencing? The biggest addition to this compared to game level 1 or the gold level is that you will be introduced to problem solving. Now, why problem solving? Project managers are problem solvers. Why is that? Because they have to deal with the integration of people, process, and technology. In the digital age, there is going to be so much automation that the jobs that are left over for humans to do is going to require complex problem solving ability. Veterans are amazing problem solvers. The only thing is to be relevant in the civilian industry. Remember one thing, you are being tasked with a specific business case that you have to execute. There are no rules, so be very clear on the strategy for execution. So let's talk about the business case. You're a project manager at Project Starfish. From a junior project manager, now you have been promoted. So definitely update this on your LinkedIn profile. The diversity and inclusion team at Project Starfish has a problem, which is the reason they need your help. They want to design a strategy by which they can practice inclusion between people with disabilities and small companies in the civilian industry. The diversity and inclusion team has realized that crowdsourcing is an amazing way to build knowledge, business inclusion, and foster great relationships with the civilian industry. You have been hired as a project manager to bring businesses and people with disabilities together so the transfer of knowledge can happen. Now remember that Project Starfish has a specific cycle that is repetitive so it can scale. And as you work with businesses to share your knowledge on 60-minute calls, your job is to complete the activity at least once by getting a business on a call and to speak with them with clarity. So the question is, can you align workers to an objective and produce the results? So it is your due diligence that you have to identify businesses, understand the industry, and then focus on which companies to send emails to. How can you align both sides? How can you bring in the right speakers? All this depends upon you. Can you moderate the discussions with businesses? Can you facilitate the integration between both sides? So the CEO basically says the same thing as she said the last time. Build a team. Be very careful about execution and strategy. If you do not have clear actionable items, there is no way you'll be able to perform. You've got a golden chance of going back to the CEO and to get promoted. The resources that are available are exactly the same. Just remember, you are being clocked for any advice or any time that you spend within the business simulation. We will talk about platinum level, and as we explained, the process remains the same. The game only becomes more and more difficult, which is your ultimate objective is to bring businesses on a call and have very fruitful discussions. You have to build an entirely different team, motivate them, ensure you do business case studies to identify problems, strategize the outreach plan so that you can have businesses understand this initiative to get on a call and share their knowledge. You have to build connections, you have to integrate people from both sides. So, before you begin, we have already told you that you are going to be charged or you'll be fined if you don't complete the activity on time. There are no rules, and it is up to you to design the rules. Remember the car principle. Do not forget, clarity and alignment equals results. Keep asking questions. If you do not ask questions, this simulation is completely gray. It is up to you to drive it. And that is exactly what the civilian industry expects out of project managers. So let's get started, right? You have been tasks. You have been tasked to at least ensure that each person sends email to 20 companies. You have to get at least one civilian company on the call and have problem solving and brainstorming discussions. Or you can kind of get two civilian speakers to get on a call and share their knowledge on the 60 Minute to Impact program. To know more, remember your personal assistant is key. Ask for guidance if needed, but you have to make the judgment call. Interview your workers very well, but remember, because you're clocked, everything depends upon how you eliminate and what you eliminate. Building the teams by doing business case studies and taking the lead is extremely key. Motivation, even bigger. Why will people send out emails for no reason? If you do not inspire them and motivate them and lead them, there's no way the team will be able to perform. As a project manager, remember, you have responsibility but have no authority. The only way you can establish authority is by walking the talk. Prepare extremely well. You are limited to 60 minutes for doing case studies. And remember, the more clear you are, so will the team be. Strategize which companies you need to target. Our suggestion is for you to target only those companies that you want to network with so that you can establish the rapport with those companies as you network with them. It just strengthens your job prospects with those companies. That is exactly what you need. Network heavily. Remember, you have every talent that is needed. We are just brushing you up. It's a business brush up to get you to transition to the civilian side. But what matters in the civilian industry is who you know instead of what you know. Influence customers is very critical. We leave that to you, but I can assure you the most important step is to create value in the system. The most important step of creating value is dependent upon your knowledge and how nicely you can communicate with customers. Now, when you speak with businesses, ensure you leave with crystal clear next steps. You have to develop the trust of both sides and create the partnership between both sides. You have to keep the brand value high of people with disabilities in your organization And the last part is, remember, if you push the team too hard, your team too hard, they're going to give you a negative feedback. If you do not achieve the outcomes, the CEO is going to demote you. So you have to walk that fine line that project managers always walk. Remember one thing, communicating with the CEO is very important. Without proof, without writing and communicating flawlessly with the CEO, she will never give you the appointment to chat and get a chance to get promoted. So, we can go to the third simulation, which is Diamond. And the Diamond level is extremely tough because it's completely all business. The Platinum and the Gold level are more to get you in tune with the civilian industry. The last simulation, which is the Diamond simulation, is all about selling, negotiating, execution of real projects, transferring of real money, and building your experience. So we wish you best of luck on this particular level. Once you've done, go over to the last video, which is game number 3 or Diamond, and complete the entire simulation.